Bubba Wallace was leading the race, and then, in a matter of seconds, everything fell apart. After everything that went down at Talladega, Bubba Wallace walked up to the microphone, and what he said divided the entire NASCAR fanbase overnight. Sunday's Jack Link's 500 at Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama turned into one of the craziest days in NASCAR history. A massive crash took out 26 cars, ended the race early for some of the biggest names in the sport, and left fans talking not just about the wreck itself, but about what Bubba Wallace said afterward. Let's break down exactly what happened. Talladega is always unpredictable. It's one of the fastest and most dangerous tracks in all of NASCAR. Cars race in big packs, bumper to bumper, at over 200 miles per hour. One small mistake can start a chain reaction that takes out half the field. NASCAR fans even have a name for it. They call it the Big One. And on Sunday, the Big One showed up in a major way. Bubba Wallace, driving the number 23 Toyota for 2311 Racing, was having a great day. He had led the race 3 separate times on the 2.66-mile track. He was right where he needed to be. Then came lap 115. In turn 3, contact happened between Wallace and fellow driver Ross Chastain. That small moment of contact was all it took. Cars started spinning, sliding, and slamming into each other. Within seconds, the entire field was caught up in a giant pileup. Fox Sports called it at least 26 cars involved. The crash was so bad that race officials threw a red flag and stopped the race completely for 10 full minutes. The list of cars involved was long. Car numbers 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 33, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 51, 54, 66, 71, 77, 88, and 97 were all listed as part of the wreck. That's almost every car in the race. Big names got caught up in it too. Tyler Reddick, who is Wallace's own teammate at 2311 Racing, was involved. So were Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. Both Logano and Blaney are past Talladega winners, and neither of them could finish the race because of this crash. To put just how big this wreck was into perspective, the all-time record for the most cars involved in a single crash is 31. That happened back in 2002 at this same track, Talladega, during a Busch Series race. Sunday's crash with 26 cars comes very close to that record. This was truly one of the biggest wrecks in NASCAR history. Most of the 26 drivers were able to get going again after the crash, but a few, including Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano, could not continue. Their days were done right there. That meant Wallace walked away with a DNF, which stands for Did Not Finish. And this was not just any DNF. This was his second DNF of the entire 2026 season. That stings, especially when you think about how well he had been running before the crash. So, how did Bubba Wallace react? He walked over to Fox Sports reporter Jamie Little and gave his thoughts on camera, and what he said got people talking. Wallace didn't sugarcoat anything.
Right. Nothing to show for in the first stage, obviously, just trying to figure out the strategy stuff. But, man, just hate it. Hate it for Xfinity, hate it for our team. You don't want to have any DNS. We got 2 now, so that's a bummer. But we gotta figure out how to be pushed better. So I take responsibility on that, and we'll have a good debrief and figure out what we can do to make our Toyotas a little bit better being pushed, and maybe not have that happen. But appreciate Xfinity. We'll go on to Old Tejas and have some fun.
He also added, got wrecked there, unfortunately. Our Xfinity Toyota Camry was a little unstable getting pushed, but manageable. Maybe that hard of a hit was too much, and so unfortunately, we wiped out a bunch of cars, got to debrief, figure out how to be better. This is a place we come to with a lot of confidence, and it is what it is. We will put this one behind us and go on to Texas and have some fun. So Wallace accepted some responsibility. He said his car was hard to handle while being pushed, and that the hit may have just been too much. He didn't point fingers at Ross Chastain. He didn't blame anyone else on the track. He said he needs to learn from it and move forward. Ryan Blaney had a similar take. When he spoke after the crash, Blaney made it clear he didn't think anyone was truly at fault. He said, "We all just got pinballing off each other there. and explained, "We all just kind of get bumping and banging, and one guy eventually gets turned with the car being as unstable as it is. It definitely stinks to be out early." Now, while Wallace and Blaney were done for the day, the race still had to be finished, and when the dust settled, a young driver named Carson Hocevar crossed the finish line first. He narrowly beat Chris Buescher to earn the win. But here's the thing, this wasn't just any win for Hocevar. This was his very first career Cup Series victory, his first ever, and the emotion he showed afterward was real and raw. He said, "I'm just so thankful. This is the biggest dream I've ever thought of. Thank you, everybody. I couldn't have done it any better way." He then made it even more personal. He said, "Hopefully my grandfather is watching. My grandmother died last year, and I'm just so thankful I can give my grandfather a trophy now. Just unbelievable, I'm just so thankful." It was a powerful moment in what had already been a wild, chaotic day at Talladega. Back to Bubba Wallace because his post-race interview didn't just get attention on TV, it blew up online too, and NASCAR fans were very divided about what he said. Some fans felt Wallace should have done more. One fan wrote, "Can't be bothered to apologize for all the cars he wrecked. Doesn't say he hopes everyone is okay. What an entitled driver." Another added, "How about you don't pull out in front of a freight train?" A third fan said. "How come the rest of the Toyotas don't have a hard time getting pushed?" He would blame it on Toyota. And another commented, "What is it going to take for him to finally just get fired? How many other drivers have to lose their day because he can't make logical choices?" One fan also pointed out a concerning pattern, writing, "Bubba has been involved in around 9 major crashes on superspeedways and blamed for initiating at least 5 or 6. Another added, "Wallace needs to make better choices. He needed to stay in the bottom lane. Ross got pushed also, but was able to hang on to it." But not everyone was against him. Some fans actually appreciated that Wallace owned up to it. One supporter wrote, "It's kind of nice to see Bubba not putting the blame on another driver." So the fans are clearly split. Some think he needs to do better and say more. Others give him credit for at least taking responsibility. Here's some important context about where Bubba Wallace stands in the 2026 season. Before Talladega, he was actually having a solid year. In the first 5 races, he finished in the top 10 4 times. He had an 11th place finish at COTA and another at Bristol. And just the week before Talladega, he came in 5th at Kansas, a strong result. But the Talladega DNF is now his 2nd of the season, and it will hurt his points standing. Wallace also talked about his 2311 teammate Tyler Reddick, who has been on fire in 2026, winning 5 races already. The week before Talladega, Wallace was asked about Reddick's incredible hot start and when his own team might take that next step. Wallace said, "The hot start that we've had, I am happy for him, the team, and the success. Tyler and I, we've been great teammates, I feel like, for the last 4 years. I've had no, man, why him? None of that. It's just like, man, when is it our turn?